Good afternoon, everybody, and welcome to another Wednesday Flash Briefing. I'm Big V, Verl Workman, CEO of Workman Success Systems, and I am on fire today. Matter of fact, Tammie, I got up really early today, and I walked 7 miles, 7-mile walk. I don't know if you know what that's like for a guy my size, but it's like 25 miles for most people. And so,
Wow.
yeah, it was a good walk, and I feel great. I don't know what the deal is, but the morning walks have made me inspired. I get up and after I go for a walk, it's like makes me think faster, and I'm starting to create a frenzy around me. So maybe it's that I've never experienced runner's high, but maybe that's what it's like. I don't know.
Don't ask me.
Well, I want to welcome everybody as you join the Facebook Live today on today's Wednesday Flash Briefing. We have an amazing guest with us, the one and only Tammie Slade from Dallas, Texas. Tammie, say hi to everybody.
Hello, everybody.
I want to encourage you as you come onto the Facebook Live to make sure you go into the comment section, say hello, where you're from, tell Tammie you're here. And as we're talking about Tammie and her business and her life story a little bit, I want to make sure you have the opportunity to ask questions. And so please use the comment button to say hello. And I'll do my best to watch the questions as they come up and make sure that we get we get a chance to ask Tammie anything. She said there's no topic off limits, so that opens up a lot of things we can talk about today, Tammie. So I'm glad that you threw that out there. Now I have it live.
Awesome. You're welcome. It's good.
All right. So Tammie, let's just jump into it. Tell us a little bit about, tell us first about who you are and a little bit about your family, and then maybe a little about your business.
All right. So I'm a wife, a mother, a grandmother. My grandson will be turning 1 in September, on September 3rd. So it's been a pretty epic past year welcoming him into our family. And my second child, my son, is getting married in September as well. So the family's growing, the family's taking on new paths in their lives, and they're going into new phases. And then I am a broker owner and a team leader out of the Dallas area, and a dog mama.
And a dog mama. What kind of dog?
Charlotte, she's a black lab.
Oh, a chocolate lab.
Black lab.
Chocolate or black?
Black lab.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right. So tell me the name of your real estate company.
HIP Realty Group.
Is that because you got to tell me the why behind the HIP?
All right. So the why behind the HIP goes back a couple of years, and Paul Sessom became my coach, and I actually just bought a different brokerage company at that time. Just bought a brokerage company with a broker that moved out of state. I'd been with him for several years. And when I started coaching, because I took on these new agents in my office and I started coaching, and Paul took me through an exercise and he said, we need to come back to your core values. Do you have core values? And I didn't have any core values. Do you have a mission statement? Didn't have a mission statement. Actually questioned if it was even important to have those in place. And he gave me a 1-month exercise to do where I wrote down a list of core values that meant something to me. And I read that list every single day. And there was one day through that process, I realized, you know what, the name of the company I just bought, it didn't resonate with me. It likely resonated with the person that created it, the broker before me, but it didn't resonate with me, and I wasn't attached to that name. And I was sitting in traffic one day and I was thinking down that list, and the first word on my list was honor. The second word was integrity. The third word was perseverance. And the fourth word was happening, because I could get real serious on the words that meant something. Then I threw in happening because that was me. And off to the side of that, I put in parentheses HIP. And then I went to tenacity and wisdom and determination and other words. And I was sitting in traffic that day and I was thinking of that list that I had memorized. And the acronym stood out to me of the honor, integrity, perseverance, and that happening HIP. I went, HIP Realty Group. I was so excited to get back to the office. And when I got back to the office, I walked in the room and there were 2 agents in the room, and I went, HIP Realty Group. What do you think? What do you think? And they both were like, I can see it. I can dig it. I like it. Yeah. And we just started talking about the culture around the name HIP Realty Group, what we could do with it. And it has blown up from then.
Well, I love that. And I love that your company name started with core values. So while you're on core values, tell me about what they really mean. I mean, tell me about the core values in your business and how you run your team based on those values. Before this interview today, it was really interesting. I came into my office today. I finished my walk and jumped in the shower, got to the office and put my laptop down. And right on my credenza, there's a great little picture frame that says, thank you for inspiring us to inspire others, and the core values of your most recent class. And
Yeah.
it makes me smile every time I get something for you and I save it and I think about, you know what, this is someone who lives that hip lifestyle.
Yeah. Oh, core values is everything. Core values is truly the foundation of what we've grown our business. And the more I dug into the learning and the research of why core values make the most successful companies, every major company that I can think of, that we can all really think of, started with a good mission and a good core values, and they've built upon it. So when I think of my core values, the honor, integrity, and perseverance, we talk about them weekly at our team meetings. They're brought up in our interview process. They're brought up in our quarterly reviews with the team members. When I have to release somebody, they're brought up there as well. So the core values are really the driving force. They even drive our workflows. When we're getting down to the workflows, when I'm getting into the listing presentations, buyer presentations, how I communicate with my clients, every bit of it comes back to the core values. It's not a checklist for us. We go back to the core values and our mission statement is that everyone we interact with will feel significant. No matter what kind of interaction you have with someone from HIP Realty Group, you leave that feeling a little bit more important and a little bit more significant, whether that's we give you an appreciation gift, whether that's a thank you card, whether that's just acknowledging you, turning our cell phone off during an interview or during a listing presentation, whatever it is. Everything we've built in all of our principles and systems, it's built around our mission and our core values.
So I love that. What about other realtors? Do you want them to feel significant too in the transaction?
Absolutely. Yeah. Yeah. And some feel real significant in one way and real significant in another way.
Yeah, we have a bunch of people saying hello to you. So, you got a fan and a girl named Audrey Slay from Salt Lake. She's saying hello, and Shiloh says you always bring a fresh air of sunshine. I can't see all these because they're so small on my screen. Jonathan Miller says that I love you and it's fun to see you. You've got a lot of fans. It's like they're lighting up the Facebook Live. So it's fun. If you're just joining the call, we have the amazing Tammie Slay, broker owner, team leader, Workman success coach, and super mom here. You know, whenever we have an event or we get people together, you bring a different level of energy and enthusiasm. Is it hard for you to keep that up all the time? Because I mean, I'm a pretty high energy guy and you make me tired.
No, it's not hard for me. No, it's a choice. I have a choice every day, and I really believe that. That goes back many, many, many years for me with the turning point in my life that I have to choose every day how I'm going to approach my day. So when my feet hit the floor in the morning, I make a choice, and it's become easier and easier and easier for me. It's almost become natural to wake up with a smile on my face. Jim said to me today on another call, he said, "Do you always smile?" I'm like, yeah, what's not worth smiling about? I love to smile. When I smile, what are you doing, Verl? You smile. So if there's any way I can bring happiness to someone, just smile. But I do. It's a conscious effort every day to wake up and go, oh yeah, I'm going to approach this day with energy. I'm going to approach it with love. I'm going to approach it with smile, laughter. But it is a definite conscious choice. It's not something that I was just born with.
You have to choose it. That's kind of interesting. And so give me a little bit about what your business looks like today versus how it looked when you started coaching with Workman. Have you changed much? Have you had much growth?
Oh, it changed completely. Absolutely, it changed. So when I first started coaching with Workman, so I'd been a single agent with a brokerage company for many years, working just by myself, didn't have an assistant, didn't have a TC. And as the senior agent in that company, when my broker, who was a good friend of mine, when he was going to move out of state, he offered to sell the company to me. So I bought that company, but in that transition, every one of those agents left the company. So I basically bought a logo, signs, and some key boxes. And when I was introduced in that 1 year from that point to being introduced to Workman, I had taken on 3 other agents, and they were all brand new to the business, had not been in the business before, and I was drowning. And I believe when I went to dinner with you after I met you at that conference, I even used those words. I'm like, I'm drowning. I also held a position within my church that was a very significant position. I was the Sunday school president over an organization that had 15 different congregations, and that was roughly about 1,800 children and almost 1,500 adults. That included not only the Sunday school program, but the weekday activities for the children, the summer camps. I was the camp director. So leading this business, being a mom, and I homeschool, and then also being in charge of this organization that had me out of the house a lot, I felt it. I was drowning. Like, I think when you think of drowning, I probably only had one nostril above the water left before I was completely under. And when I heard you speak and I heard of your systems and your processes, I knew that's what I needed, because my agents would come into the office and they'd go, okay, what do we do? And I'm like, call people?
Just do what I do.
Well, who do we call? I'm like, people, you call people. And I didn't have a system and to visit. And what I love about Workman over any other coaching program is it's more than coaching. It's more business consultant. And I love that. I love that it's not just, I'm going to coach you through feelings. I'm going to coach you to get up and have a good attitude. It's not a cheerleader program. It's really digging in and helping someone to build a business. And that's what I needed. I needed someone that's going to talk to me about operation manuals. I needed someone who's going to talk to me about hiring docs. I needed someone who's going to talk to me about, even what to put in place when someone leaves the company. I needed someone who's going to talk to me and help guide me through what does that look like on a daily basis, team meetings and more. And so the team has grown. I went from that to opening up a whole second brokerage, and now I have a team of 7. And we're dynamic. We all get along. We have a great culture. We're making an impact and a difference in the community. And I feel that we've been well received within the community with our culture.
So are you improving financially?
I am improving financially. And if I improve financially on goal, I hope to retire my husband at the end of this year.
How great would that be?
That would be awesome. Yeah.
It's kind of fun. Warren Verl says hello, and he says thank you for making a difference in his business. April says to tell you hi. Doyle Spencer says Tammie's helping us with our business and help our grow, and we love the interaction. So they're lucky to have you.
Good team. Very good. Great team.
And Warren just joined as a Workman Success Coaching client. So welcome to the family.
Welcome, Warren. Welcome.
So that's kind of exciting. So if Tammie's an example of what you look up to, I think you'll find yourself having success very early on. So have you always had a good attitude, always been successful? Usually people have to go through some traumatic life experiences to get to the place where they decide that that's not how they want to live. Do you mind sharing with us a little bit about your story?
So I've always been precocious. I've always pushed limits. I very rarely recognize boundaries. So I've always pushed through boundaries. I very rarely even recognize rules that are in place. Not that I'm, a felon, not that, but just what are the rules of the industry, or what are the rules that are put in place? So growing up, I know I pushed my mom and my dad a lot, and I pushed the rules a lot, which resulted in me becoming a mother at 16. And becoming a mom at 16, it was life-changing, and it's affected my entire life, even now to this moment. And so going through that, the biggest lesson I learned out of that was just personal inspiration. That everybody can be inspired for themselves, personal revelation, personal inspiration. I had a great sphere. I had a great amount of leaders, great amount of teachers, people who influenced me in my life at that time, and they were kind of divided. I had one that was very supportive, a side of people that were, will support you, whatever you need. And I had another side that wanted me to put my daughter up for adoption. And I decided not to do that. And going through that, I lived on my own for some time. I ended up marrying that young man. We ended up divorcing pretty quickly after her birth. And she's the mother of my grandson now. So when I look back at what I went through and the challenges of that, it taught me to, one, persevere. here I am. I would say I'm highly successful. I make more money than my husband, not to downgrade my husband, but, he has 2 college degrees. He's a pharmacist. I'm building a business, an entire company. We've opened a staging company as well. So we're building in other areas. And I have a 9th grade education, So here I have.
The School of Hard Knocks is legit, isn't it?
Yeah. Oh.
Well, that's look, a COVID Kleenex, a COVID-free tissue. That is a great team right there. I love that. I buy the 2-pack of those picker-uppers. So whoever has that, I just want you to know that I have 2 of those. I keep one in my truck and one in the backyard when I'm walking around picking up things. So I don't have to bend down. That's an awesome tool.
I saw that going.
Nicole says to tell you hello, and thank you for your leadership and mentorship, and there's just tremendous love out there. All right, so let's kind of have a little bit of fun about leading your people. You're running some live classes now. You talked about your history. I had a thought before we move on. What did you learn going through those tough times as a young teenager, having a baby, that you apply today that helps you be more successful? How do you translate that knowledge to helping your team members when they struggle?
One is possibilities. So we create our own impediments. Life doesn't create the impediments for us. We generate and create our own impediments in our beliefs or our limited beliefs. So I learned that any possibility is possible for me. Whatever I want that to be, I'm able to conquer it. I'm able to get through it. I can go around it. I can go over it. I can go under it. I can go beside it. I can hop over it, however I'm going to do it. But there is limitless possibilities. So I learned to adjust my mindset going through that if I wanted to become a very successful teenage mother, I can do it. And whatever resources I needed to reach out to, I didn't let ego get in the way. I didn't let other things stop me because they were impediments. They were limits of beliefs or limits of culture or society beliefs that would be placed upon me at that time. So I learned to think with a mindset and possibilities. And that has really pushed me. I mean, when we shift that and you think anything's possible, it can be something very small and tangible. How can I, convert a FSBO lead, or how can I land an expired lead, or how can I build a business? How can I lead a team? How can I recruit 10 people in 1 year? Anything is possible when you have the mindset of possibilities and you look for those possibilities and how you can create them, how you can leverage them, how you can outsource them, but you come with it with the mindset and possibilities.
Tammie, you're an inspiration. It's so much easier to use life challenges as an excuse for staying the same, as an opposed to inspiration to grow. And you've used it as inspiration to grow. You have some pretty powerful comments here. Robbie McBride says, how inspirational. Thanks for sharing. And NBA All-Star Mark Eaton says, thank you. He says, for your story. It made my day.
Well, wow. That's pretty cool. Hi, Mark.
Yeah. Mark is
book. I love your book.
The 4 Commitments a Team.
I do love it.
That's awesome. That's awesome. All right. So let's talk a little bit about the shift that you had to go from being an individual agent to actually embracing the fact that you could do a team. I can see in your personality that you believe you're pretty good at things. And thinking about delegating and giving it to other people. How did you get past the nobody can do it as good as me, and I'm going to bring in others?
It was the only way to get to where I wanted to go. I want to be a team leader. I did a call this past week with Terry Murphy with one of her clients who is a dynamic lady. And this is my first time really meeting her, and I highly like her. And when she was talking about some of the things that she's struggling with, my question to her was, do you want to be an agent or do you want to be a team leader? So getting the clarity of what you really want to be has helped me because I want to be a team leader. So how did I overcome and go through that shift and kind of let go of some of the responsibilities? Because that's what I want to be. I want to be a team leader, and I have that very clear, and that clarity is there with me. So it's been easy to look for who I'm going to outsource something to look for who I'm bringing on the team, to make the decision to recruit someone, because that's ultimately what I'm building and where I'm going, because that's my vision.
Yeah, it's fun to change that mind shift from I have to do it all to all of a sudden I can have others. So how do you look at your team members today from a success perspective? How do you measure your success as a team leader in relationship to your team members?
I would say the growth that they're experiencing, their personal character growth, their personal production growth. Are they my personal? So we have a team mission statement, and then everybody on the team has a personal mission statement. My personal mission statement is inspiring others to become what they dream of becoming. So first I have to know what they dream of becoming when they join the team, or when I'm interviewing them for a position in the team. I have to be very clear in knowing what they're wanting from me as a team leader. Where do they want to go? And if the stars align for both of us, then that's what I measure my success is, are they on path to getting to where they wanted to go? And it's not a numbers game. It's not, just 24 transactions a year. It's not a sales volume. It's larger than that. It's greater than that. It's personal development. It's character development. It's mind shift. I've seen team members that went from a little bit more of self-doubt or doubt in the industry, or open houses aren't possible, and they've shifted their mindset. They went from a more impediment mindset to open it up to a possibility mindset. So, and I know we talk a lot about growth mindset, but I would say a possibility mindset. They're looking for ways to overcome their problem solving with possibilities. That's how I measure it, is the overall package, not just in the numbers.
Here, let's see what your team members say. So your team members are actually answering questions for you on behalf of me, which I love. So tell Monica, well done. She says, to answer Verl's question about how she's able to give up some of her responsibilities as a member of her team, she truly believes in our abilities, and she helps us believe in ourselves. And no question or communication is off limits. That right there from your team in a public place where they say the reason we do well is because she believes that we can, says a lot about you as a leader.
Oh, I love it. For me, every time when we have a team meeting and I introduce a new idea, and whether it's crazy or not, because I come up with a lot of ideas, I love when they challenge my ideas. It just excites me when they open their mouth and they're like, Tammie, that's probably not, or they want to go a different direction. I love that, because the trust is there in the team that they're comfortable to speak up. I'm going to use Monica as an example right now, because you just mentioned her name. So Monica is my personal.
She the one with the poker that came through the screen?
She is the poker.
Okay. So I feel like she's part of the call anyway.
She's waving her poker. And so when Monica's my personal assistant, and Monica's the best at managing her time and managing my time as well. And when I sat down with Monica one time, this was a while back, and I gave her another responsibility to be in charge of, I know a lot of admins that are fearful to say no or say you're past my bandwidth. And they just go, okay. Yes, ma'am. Yes, ma'am. And then they start drowning. Well, Monica is really good that when I give her something, if she already has 5 to-do tasks or 5 to-do projects, and I give her a 6th one, she goes, okay, I'll do that. Now, which of the other 5 do you want to take off the list? And she's really good at going to the Agile and saying, okay, we'll do that. I'll be happy to add that. Where does this fall with the other 5? And it thrills me that she can say that to me, and she trusts that I'm not going to fire her over something like that.
That's funny. I was going over the Agile yesterday with our marketing director, April, and showing her how we prioritize and how I look at it at a glance, and that our clients use it. And I'm used to looking at things that way. And she was like, I think I get that now. I think I get that. So I love you brought that up. And I know April's listening. So there you go, April. Now you see live proof of how that works in a real environment. It helps the team keep the taskmaster on task.
Yes, it does. It does.
All right. So I got another question for you. So you said a few minutes ago, you said something about, it doesn't matter what the barrier is. I'll go over it, under it, through it. Has that always been the case with you in your life? Have you always found barriers to be things that you'll figure out ways to get through?
Yeah, that actually has. I said earlier, I see a boundary and I like, how can I take that down? What can I do with that? And you've probably experienced too, because I really don't ask permission to do much of what I do, right? Even with your own team. So when I was little, my mom tells this story often of, and this was when I was still sleeping in a crib. So I was probably about 1.5 years old. And I have a sister who's 1 year older than me. And my mom would bring me a bottle, put me down to nap, and I did not want to go to sleep. So I would hold the bottle out of the crib for my older sister. And then she would climb in and she would boost me out, but I had to almost bribe her with my bottle. And then she would get under the covers with the bottle because she wanted my bottle. And so I think in what I really have, I've always looked for, how can I move faster? How can I conquer that sooner? How can I get over that? How can I tackle that? Just because there's a drive within me to always prove that a decision I made years ago, when I was a teenager, didn't limit me. And I would never want, no matter what decisions my own children make, I would never want them to learn that one decision can limit you or handcuff you to a certain way of life. That any decision they make, there's still a way to become better and to overcome that, and then to use that decision to create something more and something better.
You don't really see barriers, do you?
I don't see barriers. No, I don't.
I love that. Everybody, this is Verl Workman, and we're talking with Tammie Slay from Dallas, Texas, and Hip Realty, a workman success coach and just a great all-around person. Tammie sharing with us ideas of success and how she's become the amazing individual that she is today. So Tammie, what's next for you? Tell me what's on the horizon. What do you see in the next 2-3 years for you? I know you want your husband to be able to retire. He may not want to.
Oh, no, he does.
Does he?
I think he wants to retire so he can keep a better eye on me.
I can see that. I can totally see that.
He's like, what are you doing? Because I just made a really big purchase this last week.
Good for you.
And thank you. And when he found out about it, he's like, well, you did what?
You're at that point in your relationship where you've gone over there. If it's more than $50, we're going to talk to each other part. You don't have that?
Yeah, we never had that. No. So I do, my husband retiring, that's one, that's a big goal for us. The pharmacy world out there is changing. Everything's kind of becoming automated. So he sees there's this risk within his industry. And as well, he sees there's this need on my side of the business, and what I'm doing and what I'm growing and creating, that I need help. So right now he's been managing the staging side of the business. He's also working with the CPAs and the accountants and that team of people. Those are meetings I don't enjoy being in. I really don't. I don't enjoy turning in receipts. I don't enjoy keeping receipts. Those are things I do not enjoy doing. I enjoy creating and building and learning how to overcome these obstacles that we face. So he sees there's this need in there for someone very closely trusted to manage all of that.
The COO.
Yeah. Yeah. And he's good with it. That's his personality. He's a math major, pharmacist. He loves numbers. He loves math. I love numbers when they got dollar signs in front of them in the positive. I don't like calculating them.
Doyle Spencer wants to know if you bought a ranch.
I didn't buy a ranch, Doyle. If I would have bought a ranch, you'd have been the one I'd have called. No. And so for the team and for the business, I just see it growing. I see growing my agents, developing them to become better. I know I have one team member right now that wants to start her own team within our team. So how can I help her to accomplish that? Again, no barriers. I'm not going to say go somewhere else. That's not what we do. It's finding ways to build upon that. Staging business is going to be built out bigger, developing that not only just for staging our own properties, but for staging other properties too, and looking for better and greater ways to give back to the community. I have some of the best clients. I mean, I know everybody says that, but I really do feel I have the best clients. They are friends, they are family. So how to give back to them more, because we wouldn't be here without the support of the community. And we've got a fantastic community of people here, and finding ways and discovering ways and creating ways to give back to them.
So I love that. I love that that's what drives you. The dollar signs are good too, but having a bigger mission that gives you money so you can give back is really the underlying motivational value, the core value that resonates with me. And so this is just a personal question for me, and that is, how is being a coach, how has being a Workman Success coach helping other people impacted your own life and business? Like really, what do you see differently now that you're having to help other people go through what you went through?
It's opened my eyes up to other problems that maybe I haven't experienced yet within my own team. So there's growth there when I'm learning the stories of other people, whatever level, because I've got people that I coach that are farther along in their business and greater in their sales volume than I am. And so when I see these other struggles that they're going through, it helps me personally to prepare for my team. It also helps me, I would say time management has been a huge win since taking over coaching. I am more in control of my schedule now, and I spend less time in the business the more coaching clients I've taken on, because I've become very intentional and very aware of the amount of time I spend in the day. You know, when you time block those coaching calls, so I've got about 10 clients, I think right now, when I time block those coaching calls, yeah, the occasional one we shift, but the majority of them we leave there. I become very intentional in controlling my schedule. Not only that, but I become, I'll say this and sound humbly, I become more aware of my influence and my talents the more I help people. When I see something come to fruition with a coaching client and I see them overcome something, it just, you know, it drives me to help someone else. It drives me to find a solution for something else, because I do think in possibilities. And so to work with these coaching clients and to problem solve with them, it's very rewarding, and it just like gives me all the tingles, you know, to come through and master something with them.
It's cool to feel like you had a small part of somebody else's success when when the lights go on and they get it.
Yeah.
You're like, I've been telling you this for 2 years and now you get it. Now you got it. And then all of a sudden it opens up all these other possibilities because they start to believe. That's such a fun thing that you love that so much.
I do love that so much.
Well,
I love it even with clients. You know, we're used to working with our own clients. So when I work with my sellers and I see, okay, we have a problem with this house and it's not selling. Well, let's think of how we can get it to sell. We're going to adjust this. We're going to stage that. We're going to market here. We're going to do that. It's very rewarding to be in a problem-solving business.
Yeah, it really is. And I love it. And I love that you're part of the Workman family. You know, people ask me all the time, well, why do these agents who are successful and they're producing real estate, why do they want to be coaches? Because you certainly can't pay them enough to coach. It's not about the money. And it's really difficult for me to articulate that. I think you have to experience it. And then I guess the other piece is the network, the other people that you get to associate with. What's that been like for you?
Oh, it's been dynamic. There's not another group out there like what's in the Workman family. And I give all the plugs and the shameless plugs about the Workman family because I'm a true believer of the Workman way. I am a huge supporter of it. When I think of the Workman family, and this isn't just your own family, Verl, and this isn't just your team and your company, but even all the coaches and the clients, there is a quality of individuals that resonates through everybody. I would trust anyone I have met within the Workman family with my own children. I trust you with my daughter. Going back, you know, when I first started coaching for you, this is almost a year and a half ago, and I was there in Salt Lake, and I got a call from the ER that my daughter was in the ER. And she's, you know, states away from me. And I just happened to be in the same state with her then. But she took on a health concern for about a year. And who was there to always reach out and say, can she come to dinner? Can she do this? You've reached out to her. You've given her your cell number. You're not going to find that. Here you are, this president, this owner, this huge guy within this company, and you have a level of prestige. Yet you allow my 19 and 18-year-old daughter to text you when she needs you. That's the quality of the people within the Workman Success Program. And those are the people that I want with me when COVID hits and we're all in the trenches together trying to save our businesses because we know our team members rely on us for income. Those are the people I want at my back.
Is there such thing as a Facebook hug? Because I want to reach through and just give you a hug. It's easy to be kind to your daughter because she's such a good soul, and you trust me with her, but you didn't see me try and throw her off the tube the other day. So behind the boat. So you may feel differently after you get the video snippet of that. So
Yeah, we may have a talking.
Well, Tammie, what a pleasure it's been to have you on our flash briefing today. What do you see happening in the real estate market around you over the next 6 months, and how do you want to end this year?
So it's been busy. For us, it's been busy. I see it continuing to be busy. I see, we have some low inventory going on right now, but there's a lot of buyers that are out there. I've had, just to share, and I'm sure there's other leaders out there, but because I track my day so well and I track my numbers so well in what I'm doing with my daily activity, I've had more appointments. So my appointment to close conversion has been greater. I've seen a greater shift in that, where I have, 120 appointments that result in about 40 listing agreements. I don't normally have that wide range in there within just a couple of months. Normally my conversion is actually really good, but I've had more appointments in the last 3 months talking to people about 3 to 5 years from now. So I've had more people reach out to me in the last 3 months to ask, what's going to happen in 3 years? What's going to happen in 5 years? We're thinking of doing something when my son graduates high school. Whereas normally I don't receive those phone calls until 6 months prior to them making a move. I have a list of people, 100 deep, that are about 3 to 5 years from doing something. So what I've seen in the shift for me personally within our team and our business is more people are reaching out to share what's happening in their life 3 to 5 years, and they just want to talk to somebody about it and see, are we still okay? So this is going to be 2008 again. What's going to happen?
Right.
So I see the business for us still going good in this Dallas area market. Renting's been a little iffy right now, but we'll see how that goes with our investors. Investors are a little iffy right now buying up rental properties because they don't know if they're going to get any rent paid to them at the moment. But we'll see how our investor clients turn out. But I see it just continuing to be great. The low interest rate, every bit of it's been good.
It's really an interesting dynamic of what's going on in the different markets and how COVID's affected the business. Texas has been out of control. Utah, where I live, has been out of control. We just have had this, consistency, and we're not like, I just want it to go away already. But we can't make that happen. But you also don't have to hide. You've continued to grow and have success during one of the worst times for a lot of people financially. It's been interesting to watch your success. What do you attribute your ability to continue to have appointments and transact and be successful in a world where there's agents right there in Dallas who have gone away and have decided they can't work right now?
Well, I know I'm going to sound like a broken record, but I think about possibilities. So I don't think about impediments. I don't think about challenges. So when I wake up, I go, how am I going to reach the people? If I can't get in their door, I can't get in front of their face, how can I still reach people? Well, the phone still works. Zoom still works. Texting still works. So whereas a lot of people, a lot of people have left the industry and just hung their hat up and have decided they'll try it again in a year or two with real estate. So I would call them part-time people. They don't really work the business as a career. We work it as a career. This is our career. This is our company. This is our business. And because we have a team that thinks with the possibilities, we wake up and go, okay, if we can't get in their door to meet with them in person, how can we meet with them? And Zoom is one great way to meet with them. Calling them is one great way to meet with them. My mother, who just needed a little bit of extra income, I paid her to call my database. She was calling around to clients and people that we know. How are you doing? I'm calling you on behalf of HIP Realty Group because there's only so many hours in the day that I can contact 1,000 people. So guess what? I have people that love to also contact people. And my mom was calling people for me. And then she sent me a note. This person wants you to send them a CMA. This person wants to get on your calendar. This person wants to know what's going on here.
I love that. If I take anything from today's Facebook Live and this flash briefing, it's that we all need to do better at believing in possibilities and looking for what's possible instead of why we can't do something. And it's just been such a pleasure to have you share a little bit of your life story, your successes that you're having as a business owner, as the CEO of a company, and as a coach. And I love all of that, Tammie. And I'm so grateful that you're part of the Workman family. You make our family more fun. You bring a little hip and a little jive to the Workman family. I want to just say on behalf of everybody at Workman Success Systems and everybody that's joined this flash briefing, thanks for being part of it. And I wish you continued success. And I can't wait to have you on again and have an update on what's all transpired. I think that the husband's retirement would be a good reason to have both of you on another flash briefing.
That'd be fun. That would actually be really fun to have him and I on one together. I think that'd be fun for y'all to see, the dynamic.
I cannot wait to see. I have a picture in my mind's eye of what that might look like.
Yeah, that would be fun. I would love to even just see it. I would love to.
That's going to be awesome. Well, thank you again for being here. I want to say thanks to everybody for joining these flash briefings each Wednesday. We'll continue to do our best to bring amazing people like Tammie Slay and have her share her successes with you so you can believe in what's possible in your life as well. Thanks, everybody, and we'll talk to you all soon.
Thank you.